So for step 16, attaching the front stabilizer. Well, you can see that we've got to get the stabilizer bar. There's these stabilizer ball connectors. You can see the grub screws and the screws, and you can see how this is supposed to be attached. But you can see that these pieces, C3, are going to attach to the front suspension pieces and then run through, and we've got this E9 piece that we need to attach to the silver piece, which was that silver piece on the front, which will then basically connect it all together. So I'll set this up and let's put it on. So the best way to get this stabilizer ball connector onto our connecting piece here, C3, is put this down on the ground, grab your tweezers or your pliers, get it more or less level as much as you can, and pull. And that's the easiest way, because there's nowhere for the pliers to really attach here to make this an easy job. So if you have it on the ground and then you pull, it should pop in nice. So now that that one is done, you can see here that we've got this piece, then this piece, then it goes onto the stabilizer bar. Now they're showing that the grub screw is facing up, which makes sense, because if you want to access it later, it'll be easier. You can also see that the stabilizer rod is going all the way in. So again, if I grab my Allen key, I'm going to put that into the grub screw first. And I'll start it. There we go. We'll put that on. Make sure it goes all the way. And then I will tighten this up. Now, I'm not going to tighten this as tight as the grub screw on the motor, but I do want to make sure that this is still going to be secure. And I can do finishing touches once we've got this attached to the car itself. Now I went ahead and did the other one, so all we need to do is put the grub screw into it. There we go. Now we'll put this on, and I'm holding on either end just so that the initial turning of the grub screw, I know that it's facing correctly and it's facing up. Yes. So I can tighten this on a bit more. I'll just check the other side, make sure it's on. Yep. And I mean, I may make some final adjustments once this is onto the chassis as well, but we'll see. So I mean, that is essentially what that's going to look like. Now you can see that with the, if we grab the chassis, just like that, you can see that those are going to be popped onto these balls right here, and then that is going to sit just like that, because we have this piece here which will end up sitting over top of that, and then and will go down with the two screws. Now what I want to see is, let's first get this into here. So those bars need to go inside those mounts that we put on earlier, and then they will pop onto here. Now, I think what I'll do is we will attach this first, just because then this isn't going to move anywhere. The very tiny screws. And grab the other one. I'd even try to put that onto the screw itself. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this closer. And because these are tiny screws, just make sure you don't over tighten, because I'm sure that what you'll find is if you do, they'll end up stripping. So we're going to take a look to see how much play there is. Tighten that on a bit more. So you can see that there's still a little bit of play, but it's not because this is loose. The piece that we put in, if you remember, it kind of just slipped in on either side and locked in. When we locked in the screws, this would just sit on the top. So there's a little bit of play with this, but not too much. But that's okay. That's more or less how it'll look. But the two screws are definitely in tight with the little, what is it, the E9 piece. So all that's left is we need to attach these to the suspension arms. So I went and did the other one just to see what would work best, and it looks like the easiest way to attach these is to turn the chassis upside down, and then when you're putting that one on, you can see how it's sitting just in the right spot like that. You can grab your pliers and put one end under the ball and then pull. And there we go. So there it is, nicely attached on both sides. So now from above, this is what it ends up looking like. And we've got our grub screws at the top, so they're going to be easily accessible at a later date if we need to do anything with it, or if we need to take these off, or you know, for maintenance, etc. So there we go. There is step 16, attaching the front stabilizer. So 16 is done. So now we're going to move on to step 17, which is checking the RC equipment.